This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Wool. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, a severe weather advisory has been issued for the northern Bahamas. Forecasters say a prefrontal trough is moving across the area, and that will result in heavy showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, resulting in flooding, especially in low-lying or flood-prone areas. A few of the thunderstorms may also become severe at times and spawn waterspouts or tornadoes. Strong gusty winds in excess of gale force are expected tomorrow through Saturday night. Now, residents in the Northwest Bahamas, which includes Bimini, Grand Bahama, Abaco, the Berry Islands, New Providence, Eleuthera, Andros, and the Exuma Keys, should take the necessary steps to secure their properties against these expected strong winds and heavy rains. Small craft operators in the Northwest Bahamas are also urged to seek safe harbor and remain in port through Saturday. In other news, the governing body of St. Paul's Methodist College has made a decision regarding the future of that institution. Now, students had to relocate last term after it was determined that the school was in dire need of repairs. Joan Davis-Roll has the latest tonight.
A decision has been handed down by the Conference of the Methodist Church regarding the fate of St. Paul's Methodist College here on Grand Bahama.
Conference has taken the position that it intends to continue with the school here in the Grand Bahama circuit, St. Paul's Methodist College, and will do everything within its powers to ensure that St. Paul's Methodist College get back to its feet again.
For some time now, it has been rumored that St. Paul's was on the verge of closing. For the first time in the school's 50-year history, the staff and students had to be relocated to a nearby resort, where the school has been operating successfully for the past school year. Leader of the Methodist Church here on Grand Bahama, Reverend Theophilus Rowe.
We had a proposal in place to have work to refurbish the campus at Clive Avenue. Unfortunately, after several reports were done, engineering reports to inspect the buildings, we discovered that the buildings, many of them are in such a dilapidated state that it might be wise to demolish those buildings going forward before we can spend and invest so much money on those buildings.
So will we see a new St. Paul's College being constructed?
It is my hope and intention that that's what we would see going forward, a new St. Paul's Methodist College, especially as it relates to the classroom facilities. We're unsure whether or not we'd have to demolish all of the buildings, but as it stands right now, we're definitely going to need new classrooms to accommodate the students on the campus at St. Paul's Methodist College.
Despite their greatest efforts, the school's enrollment has dropped from 300 students to half that number. Meanwhile, Reverend Roll disclosed that officials have had to pay a hefty price to keep its doors open.
We're looking at over $10,000 to $12,000 just for the rental of the building. A month, yes, and also the utilities are covered as well. So it's costing us quite a bit to be there, but we understand that we want, as far as possible, to ensure that the St. Paul's Methodist College as an institution can continue to survive.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
In other news, a group of employees picketing downtown today and demanding answers. They claim that they were all recently terminated and are asking for what is theirs. Italia Hall has that story.
Former employees of AG Chemicals and Janitorial Supplies are furious.
I want to know why my national insurance isn't paid up to date. Because if anything happened to me today or tomorrow, I cannot even claim any benefits.
The group claims that they were let go and did not get what was due to them, which included their severance pay and national insurance benefits after working for the company for a period of time.
I told her, the law is that when you work, I don't care what business you have, that you're entitled to pay severance pay. You governed by the labor law of this country.
She should be punished for this because ain't nowhere in the world you could take people money out, they paycheck every week and not pay. You understand? Suppose something happened to me, I have my kids and they will not be covered.
Why is she hiding? What you backing up for? We need our money. We work hard every day for our money. Come on, man, fast.
Sandra Neely, the mother of Derek Hepburn, a former employee who is hearing impaired, says she feels the company is taking advantage of her son.
She's taking out $8 out of his check, $8 and some cents for national insurance, and nothing has been paid. She's also working him overtime. Like if he get off at 11, sometimes he stay there from 11 till 7 again in the morning. Still have to work from that 7 in the morning till 11 again and no pay.
The group says there was a meeting scheduled, but it was canceled and something needs to be done immediately.
We all need our money. We all serve our time with her, so it shouldn't be no big issue, no big deal, or her paying us our money. We are Bahamians. She say she here for the Bahamians, but I guess not.
We've worked hard. We're not here fighting for something that's not ours. You understand? We're just here to get justice.
We reached out to the owners of AG Chemicals and Janitorial Supplies who call it an unfortunate incident. The owner added that as soon as there is a resolution, they will give an update. Owners plan to hold a meeting with their lawyers and the former employees to deal with this matter. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Thanks, Italia. Well, the National Health Insurance Secretariat advised yesterday that the draft NHI bill will be released to the wider community on Monday. Now, this will pave the way for all Bahamians to finally be able to afford quality health care services, starting with primary care. Stakeholders in the medical field among those learning more about the proposed NHI legislation on Grand Bahama. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
The legislative draft for the historic National Health Insurance Plan, a vital component of the National Health Consultative Initiative. Stakeholders and medical officials on Grand Bahama learning more about this proposed legislation designed to govern this landmark program set to be introduced throughout the country. Legal consultant for NHI, attorney Tamara Dillett.
I want to advise that we've spent quite a bit of time working through this draft bill, and it is still indeed a draft bill. The bill has been presented to the Cabinet and we've been given, I would say, approval in principle on the proviso that we take this draft to the various stakeholders and release it to the public. And so I just want to highlight and say that there is an opportunity for each and every individual present in this room as a professional and all those individuals outside of this room to take a look at this draft legislation before we send it back to Cabinet for them to take a look at and get the final, sign off on it before it is passed through the Houses of Parliament.
Dillett talked further about the regulations embodied in this new bill.
I want to just indicate that this particular piece of legislation is going to be the substantive bill or legislation with respect to NHI. Built into this draft bill does not include all of the very particulars or the finite details with respect to certain aspects. Those aspects are going to be referred or deferred to regulations, and it is intended that we're going to create certain subcommittees who can work very closely with us in drafting the regulations. The need for technical expertise in areas throughout the medical profession is critical to the functioning of those subcommittees to ensure that the information included in the regulations speak fully to the functioning and effect of the draft NHI bill.
Funding for NHI is another significant aspect of the draft.
In this current draft bill, the benefits are not fully set out in the substantive legislation but are attached by way of schedule because of the volume of the benefits. At a future date, you will be required, contributions will be required by beneficiaries, and so the legislation makes provision for contributions, but the actual finite details with respect to how contributions are made, when contributions are made, and the rates at which contributions are made are going to be reserved for regulations.
An estimated $200 million is expected to be spent by the government to introduce this new plan, components of which Dillett says continues to be a work in progress.
The establishment of the National Health Insurance Fund is intended to finance the objectives of the Act. It will be under the control and full management of the National Health Insurance Authority.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Now, according to the National Insurance Secretariat, the draft legislation is currently undergoing final revisions by the legislative team following focused consultation with members of the medical community and other key stakeholders. Now, preliminary recommendations have been included in the revised draft. Stay with us. There's more news right after this.